Dear colleagues, welcome to the topic 2 of the basic training program on the antibiotics. Today's topic is antibiotic susceptibility testing. So before moving ahead, let's understand the antibiotic treatment process. So hospitalized patients with suspected infections, symptoms of fever, chills. So these patients, the samples from these patients are collected in the form of sputum, urine, blood samples for the culture sensitivity testing. And immediately empiric antibiotic treatment is started on the risk stratification criteria and according to the antibiogram of the hospital. So first step is collect the sample for the testing, that is culture and sensitivity testing, and the next step is start immediately empiric antibiotic treatment based on the risk stratification and antibiogram. And when the result comes after the 24 to 48 hours, then continue with the same antibiotic therapy as per the response of the patient or alter the treatment according to the culture reports. So this is the basic antibiotic treatment for the suspected infectious patients in the hospital. Now next terms, MIC and MBC. So these are very important terms in microbiology, and these are the important criteria for the selection of the antibiotic MIC and MBC. Out of this, MIC is very important. So let's have the basic understanding of same. Minimum inhibitory concentrations are defined as the lowest concentration of an antimicrobial that will inhibit the visible growth of a microorganism after overnight incubation. It is used to determine amount and the type of antibiotic that patient would be receiving. So to simplify, this is the lowest concentration of an antimicrobial agent that will inhibit the visible growth of microorganisms. And similarly, MBC, that is minimum bactericidal concentrations, these are defined as the lowest concentrations of antimicrobial agent that will prevent the growth of an organism after subculture onto antibiotic free media. So basically, to explain it, these are the minimum concentrations required to kill the bacteria. So MIC is to inhibit the bacteria, the lowest concentration required to inhibit the bacteria, and MBC is the minimum concentration or lowest concentration required to kill the bacteria. MICs are used by diagnostic laboratories mainly to confirm the resistance, but most often as a research tool to determine the in vitro activity of new antimicrobials. So for example, Ilores has gone through the same procedure to determine the in vitro activity and to determine the MICs. And data from such studies have been used to determine MIC breakpoints. So similarly, the MIC breakpoints for the Ilores have been defined. So this is the basic concept: MIC and MBC, minimum inhibitory concentration and minimum bactericidal concentrations. Now this is the figure representing the Broth microdilution reference technique for determination of MIC. So these are the test tubes, and in which the antibiotics are given in the concentration of 0 microgram per ml, then followed by 0.5 microgram per ml, 1 microgram per ml, 2, 4, 8, 16. So these are the incremental concentrations of the antibiotics, and as we can see that in the 0 microgram per ml there are bacteria present. Yellow color represents the bacteria, and as the color fades, the concentration of bacteria decreases. So we can see that at 2 microgram per ml the concentration is lowest, and then at MIC is equal to 4 the concentration is 0. So this is the basic MIC for this particular antibiotic concentration, the lowest concentration of antibiotic that inhibits the growth of the bacteria. This is measured visually here. Now interpretation of this quantitative susceptibility test is based on the relationship of the MIC to the achievable concentration of antibiotic in body fluids with the dosage given. So for example, an antibiotic is given to the patient, let's say for example meropenem 1 gram is infused inside the patient, and the concentration which is available in the lungs would be dependent on the certain factors like patient age, his condition, his total overall fluid concentration in the body. So approximately it would be around 20 to 30 microgram per ml. So the susceptibility of the antibiotic would be dependent on this concentration and the MIC of the antibiotic. And for the treatment purposes, the dosages of given antibiotic should yield the peak body fluid concentration 3 to 5 times higher than the MIC. Example, if certain antibiotic is having the MIC of 4, so it should have the concentration in body fluid of 3 to 5 times of antibiotics. So for example, 4 MIC, so it should be around 20 microgram per ml concentration of antibiotic in the tissue. MIC times 4 is equal to dosage to obtain the peak achievable concentration. So this is the basic formula, into 4, MIC into 4. And this is the MBC reference technique. So here quantitative measure is the lowest concentration of antibiotic that kills the bacteria. So let's move ahead. The relationship between the MIC and MBC. So if MIC and MBC are very near to each other, for example MIC is 2 and MBC is 4, so that particular antibiotic is bactericidal. And if the MIC and MBC are far away from each other, as shown in the second line graph, MIC is nearly 1.5 and MBC is near 128, so that antibiotic is bacteriostatic. So there is a much closer relationship between MIC and MBC values for bactericidal drugs than for the bacteriostatic drugs. We can see in this particular first line that MBC and MIC are near, very close relationship in the bactericidal antibiotics. So how do antibiotics work? Mechanism of actions. Antibiotics operate by inhibiting the crucial life-sustaining processes in the organism. So these processes could be synthesis of cell wall material, synthesis of DNA, RNA, ribosomes and proteins. These all are essential for the survival of the cell of the bacteria. And the target of the antibiotic should be selective to minimize the toxicity. But all antibiotics are toxic to some degree. So basically antibiotics are toxic, so we have to minimize the toxicity, so we have to just target the selected bacteria. The targets of antibiotics should be selective to minimize the toxicity, and we have to clear the objective that we have to harm the bacteria, not the host. So selective toxicity is our objective. Why do we perform susceptibility testing? So these have many objectives, short term and long term. So short term would be help the patient today. The susceptibility testing helps to identify the pathogen and give the right antibiotic to the patient. It is done to provide the guidance to the physician in the selection of antimicrobial therapy with the expectation of optimizing the outcome. So selective toxicity and good effect. These are the objectives for today. And then we have to help the patient tomorrow also. Build an antibiogram to guide physicians in selecting empiric therapy for future patients with the expectation of optimizing outcome. Now whenever the patient is coming to the hospital, it is not possible to do the culture and sensitivity rapidly to get the right antibiotic and the dosage of the antibiotic. So hospital has to build an antibiogram according to the patient population, the risk stratification, which antibiotic should be given empirically in which situations or which conditions. So that is the antibiogram built for the patients tomorrow. So this susceptibility testing done today is going to help the patients tomorrow, and to help the patients in the next decade. In the long run, drive the new drug research and monitor the evolution of resistance. So it helps to monitor the evolution of resistance. If certain antibiotic getting resistant from the pathogens, then it has to be modified or new drug research should be initiated. So these are the objectives, short term to long term, for the susceptibility testing. And we do this testing to provide a guide for therapy, current therapy, the today's therapy for the patient. It will provide the guidance. It allows the selection of the most appropriate agent. Most appropriate in terms of spectrum of activity, its effectiveness and expense, the cost to the patient, and to monitor the evolution of resistance. Antibiotic resistance has an impact on individual health and public health. So this is a grave concern. Types of resistance seen and frequency, which drugs you can expect to be successful, emerging and new resistance seen in the community. So these are the factors to be considered here. Now how to interpret the susceptibility results? MICs are not physical measurements. There are many factors that play a role in determining clinical outcome. Susceptibility in vitro does not uniformly predict the clinical success in vivo. For example, certain antibiotic is acting against the certain pathogen at certain MIC, but that does not mean it would act same when administered to the patient. Resistance will often but not always correlate with the treatment failure. So if there is a treatment failure, there are chances that the antibiotic resistance is present. So what is the ideal antibacterial? So it should be selective target, that should be target unique. Narrow spectrum is the ideal. It should be bactericidal. It should kill the bacteria. Narrow spectrum of activity does not kill normal flora, so it should not harm the normal flora of the human being. High therapeutic index ratio of toxic level to therapeutic level. So again, selective toxicity is the objective. Few adverse reactions, allergies or toxicities. Various routes of administration. It should be easy to administer IV, IM or oral. It should have good absorption, distribution to the site of infection, and emergence of resistance should be slow. So these are the ideal antibacterials, characteristics of the ideal antibacterial. So in the next topic, we are going to learn about the antibiotic classifications. So thank you, colleagues.